the Led Zeppelin album that matched up to Jimmy Page's dreams. Led Zeppelin are widely regarded as one of the best rock bands of all time, but they were never just a rock and roll band. Far distant from the blues rock scene from which they emerged, by the late 1970s, the group was genuinely preoccupied with tearing down every genre-defined barrier that stood in their way. Led Zeppelin, comprised of Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones, produced some of the world's most defining studio albums, and their innovative self-titled releases have rightfully received acclaim. Not only would those albums represent a shift in the heavy metal landscape, with bands like the Beatles and Rolling Stones becoming less relevant, but they would also serve as a breeding ground for new bands to emerge. Led Zepp made waves right away after they were formed in 1968, following Page's departure from the Yardbirds due to his unpredictable talent. After signing Plant, Bonham, and Jones, the trio gained notoriety due to Keith Moon's prediction that their new project would fail like a lead balloon. Led Zeppelin was promptly signed to join Atlantic Records' expanding list of rock bands. The band toured relentlessly, perfecting the concept of a rock spectacle like no other band had before them. The band's mercurial abilities, most especially Jimmy Page's, were allowed considerable room to express themselves inside the limits of the recording studio. Page, the group's creative leader, was unquestionably more than just a guitarist. He was also a studio whiz and serial creator. While much of the group's discography was defined by the unconventional ways in which the band recorded their songs, with the release of Physical Graffiti, Page finally realized his creative goals. The album, released in 1975, typified the band's new approach. They were no longer a rock band, but rather the leaders of a musical revolution. Jimmy Page was able to fulfill his childhood dreams of fusing these styles together in the studio and at the mixing desk because of this talent. To be able to fuse all these styles was always my dream in the early stages, but now the composing side of it is just as important, he wrote in the liner notes for the Led Zeppelin box set. Not only Page thought of the record as possibly the pinnacle of the Beatles. Plant did not hesitate to answer Rolling Stone's question about his favorite Zepp album, stating, "Physical Graffiti, strong stuff." It sounded fantastic as well. Although it sounded quite forceful, it was also controlled and showed some restraint.